All right, folks, it's Bass Action back in action here. On this video, we're going to look at how to understand and interpret a Venn diagram. Specifically, we're going to look at Venn diagrams with 3 sets of information. In class, we'll look at how to create these ourselves. So you should be on the back of your yellow foldable on the right-hand side of the back of that yellow foldable. And we're going to just jump into this Venn diagram here. So I have a Venn diagram here, and it tells us in the description that some students were surveyed about the type of pet that they owned. We have dogs, cats, fish, and then they showed the results. So what they did is we've got our fish, we have our cats, we have our dogs, and we can see that we have some overlapping parts, and we're going to talk about what that means. This U means the universal set, which means everything inside this box is all of the students that were surveyed. So the very first question that we're going to take a look at is how many students are surveyed? And the easiest way to answer that question is to just go through and add them all up. So we're going to look at every number individually, and we're going to just add all of these numbers up. So if you pause the video and you add all of those up, what you should find is that there are 35 people that were surveyed. Now, you have to make sure that when you're adding this up that you do always include those people. You can't just look inside the circles. Now, when we want to look at, for example, I'm going to slide this up. If I want to look at how many students owned a dog and a cat. Now, we're going to think about the fact that in the previous video, we looked at our truth tables, and we saw that the symbol for and was this caret symbol, okay, kind of an upside down V, okay, and when we look at that on our Venn diagram, that means that we're looking for an overlap. So we're looking for the overlap of dogs and cats. When we come up here and we look at our Venn diagram, that overlap, these are the dogs, these are the cats. The overlap creates this almond shape, okay? When we look at this almond shape, these are the students that owned both cats and dogs. So there were 4 here and there's 1 here. So it's a total of 5 students, okay? So that's our answer would be 5 people there. If we want to look at an or statement, so I'm now down here and C, if I want to look at or, the or is going to be the V. So we can go ahead, remember symbolically that's a V. And it means we don't care if they owned both. So now we're going to look at dogs or fish. It's okay if they owned just a fish or just a dog, or it's okay if they owned fish and a dog. That's okay as well. So if we want dog or fish, we're going to add up all the numbers that are inside the fish circle. So all the numbers that are in there. So the 9, the 2, the 4, and the 3. We're also going to add into that all the numbers that were inside the dog, but we don't want to count those twice. So we're only going to add the 4 and the 1. So 9 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1. That's going to get us 23 students owned dog or fish. Now we're going to look at how many students owned a dog, but not the cat or fish. So that means we're going to start by looking at this dog circle, but then we want to eliminate any parts of the dog circle that also included the cats or the fishes. So let's go back up here and look. We're going to find that whole dog circle, but we don't want to count anything that was cat or fish. So this is inside the fish, this is inside fish and the cat, this is inside cat. So we don't want to count any of those. We want to do just the dog, so just the one that's solely in the dog circle all by itself. So that's going to be our 4. On our next one, we want to look at if they owned cat and a fish. So remember that's an overlap, but not the dog. So let's go find our overlap of cat and fish. So the overlap of the cat and fish is that almond shape remember. So overlap of cat and fish. So that's this almond fish. So this would be all my people that owned cat and fish, but I don't want the people that owned the dog. So I want to take out these 4. So I'm only going to do these 2 right here. Lastly, we want to know how many of our students didn't own any of our animals that we surveyed. They didn't own a dog, they didn't own a cat, or they didn't even own a fish. They didn't own any of our animals. And we're going to find that one by this extra number that's sitting outside. So these were people that I surveyed that couldn't land in one of these spots. So that one is our 7. We are going to practice more with these in class, and we're going to learn how to make our own. But for right now, just get comfortable recognizing those different parts of the Venn diagram and what they mean.